A lot of people don't know how lucky they are to be in this present government. If you listen to this lawyer's story, how he was tortured by General Sani Abacha and how our late President Buhari frustrated his entire life, you'll be grateful. This is his story.
There are people who enter that villa and don't come out. They said that during that era, they used to feed them to crocodiles.
You sponsored 10 Chibok girls.
Yes.
To the United States of America.
Yes. Buhari and his administration gave one Hajia $1 million. She came to America with Nigerian embassy officials, defense intelligence officials. They were going around sharing money for my friends and people to betray me. I'm telling you, my country has been harming me and fighting me since. I said, Abuja at that time, so many of my friends, I found out they were all DSS.
You never knew?
I never knew.
They were undercover?
They were undercover.
What are some things that we are enjoying right now? But many years ago, if we were in your time, we wouldn't enjoy it so much.
You wouldn't have this show now.
Are you serious?
You would not.
The song that they sang, Nigeria Jaga Jaga, if it was Sani Abacha's regime, what would have happened?
He would never have reached the studio. As they're in the studio practicing, DSS will just collect. He would never have reached.
Sir, you said you were tortured by our former head of state, General Sani Abacha. What exactly did you do wrong?
That's a good question that I still ask till this day. What happened was that the wife of Abiola, late Moshood Abiola, who won the June 12, 1993 election, was on her way to the Canadian embassy for a meeting in Lagos when her car was sprayed with machine gun fire and she was assassinated.
Wow.
So, as a human rights lawyer in Abuja then, someone came to my house and told me that they had just heard this terrible news on BBC. In that era, under that dictatorship, we didn't used to have real news. The government controlled whatever was being told. So it's only from foreign news agencies we used to hear things like that. So these missionaries came and met me and said, this is what happened, and I broke down in tears. They didn't expect that. Even me, I didn't expect that. I just said to myself, look at Winnie Mandela in South Africa. Her husband was in prison for 27 years. She campaigned for him to be released. He was released. He became president of his country. In Nigeria, Abiola won election. They put him in prison. His wife was trying to campaign for his release and they just finished her. I was like, hi, this is terrible. So I, got up, got ready, prepared a press statement, asking that the head of state, Abacha, should institute a panel of inquiry into the killing of this woman. And I even expressed condolence to him on the death of his citizen. That was it too. That was it. Maybe the part that offended him was where I said he had managed to resolve the issue or the controversy over the headship of the Caliphate of Sokoto. He had removed one sultan and put another one. So I said, you did that one. That one affects only a segment of Nigerians. Why don't you also resolve this June 12 issue that affects all of us? That is it. That was how military from Villa came and carried me.
From where? You were at home?
From Area 3, Nitel. I had sent the fax to him through Nitel. Because at that time, everything was government controlled.
What's Nitel for people who don't understand?
It's Nigerian telecommunications. I don't know if they still exist, but basically like a post office. They came, carried me. That was how I saw myself going to Villa. Out of the door of the military van that came to pick me, I could see out of the window, I could see a friend of mine, a journalist. I was like, I hope this girl sees me so that she knows where I'm disappearing to. I disappeared. When I say disappeared, I disappeared from the planet. They carried me to the villa. When they got to the gate of the villa, they said, who is this? You know, in the villa, they have a manifest, the names of people. And I used to go. Before, as a lawyer, I had clients in the villa. So I would go, my name would be there. They would let me in. This time around, I arrived. Because my name was not there. They say, who is this one? They say, he's a prisoner. That Oga Mustafa said we should go and get him. So I bring him out, let's torture him. They say, no, inside. I couldn't believe it. At the gate of the villa, they wanted to torture me. So they took me in, took me to a guard house, placed me there. But anyway, the long and short of it is, of course, there was never any charge that you did this or you did that. In that era, in this Abuja, somebody said something in a taxi. He didn't know that there was SSS in the taxi. They carried him. Abuja was, you people don't know what you're enjoying in Abuja now. That time, oh my God. Anywhere you talk, in our church, Family Worship Center, in our church, one woman got up to say something. They asked her what job does she do. She says she sells kunu at Wuse Market. When he looked at her, this woman doesn't look like she sells kunu. It was later on someone told us that she's an SSS agent. Yes, so she had to come up with, I sell kunu. I'm telling you, everywhere, club, anywhere you go, they were always there monitoring. And there were much fewer people in Abuja then. We're talking 1996, 30 years ago. So you could be picked up for anything. But long story short, I wrote a letter and I said, investigate the death of the citizen. And the head of state of your country thought that was enough to send military guys to pick me up and detain my behind.
So what kind of torture happened? Is that something you like to talk about?
Of course, I don't like to talk about it, but it happened. It's on them, not on me.
How long were you there?
I was detained from June to August.
Are you serious?
Yes.
June, July, August?
Yes, of 1996.
Your family didn't know where you were?
So this is what happened. My family had no idea where I was, and my family is also connected. My dad was in the government then. So they were looking for me. I had just disappeared. Now, what now happened is that night, they tortured me. They were using a plank to whack me on the back. So the OC Naik, that's all I remember, OC Naik. He now told his boys that they should go and raid my house and search anything, that if I tried to escape, they should kill me. He said it, he gave the order. So that night, after midnight, they put me in a car and drove to my house in Moses Zone 5. They got there, they overpowered the security guard. They went in, they searched, they ransacked my apartment, and then they left. So when my family was looking for me now, they now came to my house and asked, and the guard told them that all he knows is that he saw soldiers who came with me one night, that they packed things from my apartment and they left with me. So that was when at least they knew it wasn't kidnappers. At that time, we didn't even have kidnappery, if there's such a word in Nigeria. We didn't have that kind of nonsense. So my family now knew that it was some kind of force. So they reached out to all their contacts. Even the DG and SSS searched the whole dungeons and came and said, look, I'm not there. So everybody was shocked. Where will he be? So, as God will have it, that's why this our work. If God no save you, lie, nobody can save you. One day, I was, at the guard house there. I had been there several days. Then one guard, the bodyguard of one of the top guys there, strolled to come and gist with other security. So he said, now who did it here like this? I was lying on the ground with blood on my shirt, because I was wearing what I was wearing from day one, you know. Who did this? They said, now one prisoner, now student, he writes one letter. Oga no like him. So he said, hey, make them bring him. So he looked at me. He screamed. He said, barrister, this kind of barrister. Oh." Meanwhile, all this while they thought I was a student, and I let them continue with that impression. Then he now said, this is my Oga's lawyer. I was like, Chai, this guy doesn't know what is going on. Because truly, his boss was one of Abacha's top people, and he was my client. And as I told you, I used to go to Villa. My name was there. I was in those circles. But my conscience wasn't happy with what was happening in the country. So he now told me, I will talk to Oga. I will tell Oga, you will leave here tomorrow. He said, Oga is very close to Major Mustafa. No problem. Don't worry. This will be sorted out. I knew. Because in dictatorships, they are paranoid. He had just created problems for his Oga. He didn't. Exactly. So I now decided there was only one way he could help me. But I just told him, I said, I was picked up before I got to office. I still had my checkbook and everything. I told him, I said, please, just one favor. Go to First Bank in Area 3 and this check, give it to the manager for me. That's all I'm asking. He said, no problem, we'll do it tomorrow. He went to Area 3, he asked for the manager. He went and he showed her the check. She looked at me and said, where did you get this check? He said, Barrister Ma gave me. When? I said, yesterday. Where? He said, in the villa. She said, okay, thank you very much. She called my family. She said, Ima is in the villa. And I had written the dates on the check and everything with my signature, so they knew. That's how God used.
How did you have access to check?
Like I said, I had it on me at the time that I was.
They didn't search you to remove anything.
They didn't take it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that was how God
saved you.
I'm telling you, that was the first time. I say in this country, you can disappear and.
Wait, what was their intention? Were they just torturing you or they were questioning you as well?
So the first night was torture, no questioning, just torture. The second time torture session, the first torture was in the guard room when I was held. The second one was more systematic. They carried me into the offices of the villa. So as I was walking down the corridor, I remember saying, this is the corridor, but you see principal, staff, secretary to C&C, legal, State House Council. You could see it on the doors. And I was like, you mean in an office like this is what they do during the weekends? You understand? Took me into one office. There were about 7 of them seated. Started interrogating me, asking me stupid questions. What is in him? Who is your father? Who is your mother? And of course, I was trying to avoid implicating anyone. So I said, when they asked me, who is my father? I said, he's a preacher. Who is your mother? I said, she's a horticulturist. She plants flowers, So they began to ask me, what is being planned for June 12th? Because June 12th, was a crisis. People were to demonstrate. It was coming up the following week. Mm-hmm. So I said, I don't know. All I know is I am praying for the nation. I'm fasting for the nation. So when they couldn't get anything out of me, they called a soldier. That one began to kick me and all of that, craziness, So anyway, after some time, the next time they called me for interrogation, they now asked me, is your name Ogebe? I said, yes. They said, what is your relationship to Justice Ogebe? I said, he's my father. Hey, you just see us everywhere, just chill. They said, but he's a judge. Say yes. He said, but when we interrogated you, he said he's a preacher. I said he preaches now. They were annoyed. So that was how things changed. Because the fact of the matter is, people have told us that there are people who enter that villa and don't come out. They said that during that era, they used to feed them to crocodiles. Do you know, if you look at the Nigerian budget for the villa, they have an amount they spend on exotic animals. You will not believe the kind of animals they have in that place. Go and look at the budget. So when I came out, a lot of people concluded that when they discovered that my dad was a judge, that created some problem. And the fact that the information had leaked out where I was added to the complication.
So can you tell us about the next time you were tortured?
Yeah, so the third time I was tortured, I was taken to Agoda House. Now, my previous tortures, one was on site in my cell. The second one was we had walked to the office complex in Asoro Villa to be tortured. But this time around, they drove me in a car within the villa.
Wow.
To Agoda House.
What's Aguda House?
So there's, you see, Justice Aguda was, I believe, the judge who headed the commission that recommended the establishment of Abuja FCT as the federal capital. So they named a house after him in the villa called Aguda House. So when I got there, you know, it was one soldier doing the torturing, you know. He flung me. There was a glass center table. You know, he flung me. I fell on it and smashed it. He had a pin. He pricked my private parts. It wasn't a good experience.
Jesus. Wait. They use pin.
Yeah.
To.
Yep.
Your private parts.
Those guys were bastards.
In Aso Rock. Are you serious?
That's how demented and evil those people are. I kid you not.
And in Nigeria, people will be shouting activists, but people don't really know what these people go through.
Yeah.
Have you shared this story anywhere else before?
I mentioned it briefly last night on Arise TV, briefly. So that was so at this point I was very weak because I was fasting. So after the third torture, I actually passed out. So they took me to Aso Clinic for treatment. And it's funny, while I was there, I recognized a friend from church who was a nurse. Later on found out that she was DSS. I said, Abuja at that time, so many of my friends, I found out they were all DSS. I'm telling you.
You never knew?
I never knew.
They were undercover?
They were undercover. Even nurses. So one of them, who was my friend, we used to gist. She told me that the reason why they used to place undercover nurses is that when they torture you and you don't say anything, by the time you end up in the hospital, you might confess or you might talk to a nurse and say something. That is part of the game plan. I'm telling you, the saddest part of it is that the nurse that I saw in Aso Villa, who was in DSS, I had actually wanted to date her. I didn't know she was a spy, So,
hey,
I'm telling you, my brother.
You're not making me think about my life now. Everybody in my life is now a suspect. Becky, am I sure you're not DSS?
So the funny thing is, when I now came out of captivity, we met and we were talking. And I said, you never visited me. Other church members visited me. They brought food when I came out because they moved me from villa to police cell in Asokoro. So people used to come and visit me. She never visited. So when we came out, we now met. I said, what happened now? You didn't come. That was when she confessed that she works for DSS. I said, what? She said, yeah. That she went and met a member of our church who was her oga in DSS and said to her that, please, she wants to go and visit me. That, is it okay? And that one told her no, that she will lose her job if she does it. That's how me and that girl never dated. I couldn't believe it. I told her, I said, look, even now I can't date you because at the moment when I needed you the most, you were not there for me. Someone else was there for me. So if I'm now out of prison and we start dating, it is fellow girls like you who will curse me that the one who was there for him at the time of his troubles, he abandoned her when he came out. The one who abandoned him when he was in prison, he's now dating her. And that was it. But, that was the third torture. And like I said, I passed out and they took me to hospital and all of that. Now, let me flash forward real quick. And what happened is, some years ago, I was invited by the vice president of Nigeria to come for a meeting. So I flew from the US and arrived and went to the villa. Now, in all my previous interactions with the presidency, it was always the president I met. So I met them at the presidential villa proper. This was the first time I was meeting the vice president. When we got there, guess where it was?
Where?
Aguda House. I looked. I said, God, the people who are enjoying this democracy now, they don't know that my blood was shed in this place. So we went in, we had our meeting with him, we finished, and I left and I went away. That was the only time that I was ever back in Aguda House. Now, just to show you again how God works, last year, NIDCOM, Nigerian Diaspora Commission, gave me an award for my humanitarian work. The award was to be presented in Aso Rock Villa. So I arrived there in August. The award was given to me. I said, Father, the very place where I was tortured, you brought me back 29 years later to give me an award. It is only you. It is only God that can do that. So my hope this year will be 30 years. June.
Your what?
This year will be 30 years. June. When I was picked up.
And tortured.
How
did they even pick you up, sir? I'm curious to know. Where were you? Was it at night, in the morning, afternoon? Were you at home? Were you?
All this your question.
I need to learn, because if I the SCDS says they pick people, even if I know one of their quarters is just here.
But you see, that's the thing. That
I need to know how they work. They've come here actually, but not to my neighbors.
Yeah.
I don't know how they use machines to break the doors, the protectors, everything.
But it wasn't even DSS that picked me.
Oh, it was military.
It was military. So I told you about my second torture and interrogation. There were about 7 in the room. The 7 represented different security agencies. So, Defense Intelligence was there.
Mm-hmm.
SSS was there. Different. I didn't know all of them. But it turns out that the very guy, I don't want to expose too many things.
Okay.
I don't want to expose too many things.
It's all right, sir.
But one of the guys who recognized me and mentioned my father, oh, okay, so you are related to this guy. They removed him from the case. Yes, he was a member of my church growing up. So they were like, this guy might
compromise.
So they removed him. Very, very deadly people. I'm telling you.
What are some things that we are enjoying right now? But many years ago, if we were in your time, we wouldn't enjoy it so much.
You wouldn't have this show now.
Are you serious?
You would not.
Look, if it was in General Abacha's regime,
you would not. You guys, you don't know how bad this thing was. Do you know that there was a United Nations fact-finding panel that came to Nigeria to investigate human rights? So they came to Hilton. So I went and met with them and I shared with them the human rights violations in the country. The guy looked at me. He said, we sensed it. He said, our hotel room, we came and we noticed that somebody had gone through our briefcases. So we know that we're being spied on. So the guy said to me, he said, you are like Gandhi. He was an Indian. Young lawyer, just keep it up. One day things will be okay.
And you look like Gandhi somehow.
You know, he said, young man, you know, keep it up. One day Nigeria will be okay. So I said, okay, thank you. We shook hands. Do you know that delegation left and went to Lagos and they issued a press conference at the airport saying that the human rights situation in Nigeria is terrible. Hey! By the time Abacha fired them, they landed in New York. They said, no, they were misquoted. Kai, I'm telling you, there's nothing we need to see. Even the UN was afraid of Abacha. I'm telling you.
General Abacha.
Yes, deadly. So, like I said, you know, there were people who entered the villa and never came out. I'm telling you. So, God just really, really spared my life. And that's part of why now, you know, I look at it and I say, if God could spare me from that evil man, why will I now be afraid of any other man? It will be an embarrassment to God for me to start fearing him. So that has given me the courage to press on.
Yeah. Wow. Thank God for your life. Oh. Another gist I want to hear is the one with Buhari.
Hey.
He said Buhari sent military.
Hey, God. Hey.
Sent military after you.
Hey, no.
This man has betrayed a lot.
Kai.
Those of you that want to be activists, it is very important you watch this. You know, because a lot of things are happening, and unfortunately, not everything gets to the headline of our news.
My God. So, in April of 2016, as I told you, I was invited by the VP. I came to Nigeria. I told the VP, I said, look, I sponsored 10 Chibok girls to school in America. Their visas have expired. They haven't, finished their education. Please, make una come carry una kaya. Just take care of them from here on. The Vice President told me that.
Wait, I feel like you are talking this. You are saying something very important in the most crude way.
Okay.
You sponsored 10 Chibok girls.
Yes.
To the United States of America.
Yes. Yeah. The story long, but the
I won't hear more.
The long and short of it is that I came with an American delegation and we met with one of the escaped Chibok girls. And after we spoke to her, we found out that after she escaped, police didn't interview her, Army didn't interview her, DSS didn't interview her. The only person who asked her what happened was her pastor. That's what she told us. So we, as an American delegation, were the first people to interview her aside her pastor. So when I went back to US, I was told that on their way back to Chibok, after they dropped her, the youth leader who accompanied her coming was attacked by Boko Haram. So I was very disturbed. I said, look at me. I went to America to safety and this girl went back into danger. I said, let me see if I can help her find school. So eventually, we did a proposal to the government and said, look, we have found a school in America that will take all 56 girls who escaped. Will you fund it? The government said no. So I said, all right, I will just sponsor these particular ones that I met. So there were 5. I sponsored them to go. After they came, a lot of their relatives started asking, please, we have others. So we stretched and we sponsored another 5. So 10 altogether. So after they had now spent 2 years, only one had gained admission to university. The rest were still, because by the time they arrived in America, na English, na Hausa then they speak. English was a problem and all of that. So they didn't, do very well. So we asked the government to assist. Osima just said that they can't take over, but I should go and launch appeal fund, and the government will donate. This was April. By May, somebody called me that I should prepare, or that Buhari administration is planning to mama me. I said, for what? The next thing, they announced on NTA that they have revoked the guardianship of Chibok girls in America. Are you understanding me? That they have revoked. So when the media called me, I said, revoke how? I haven't seen anything. Meanwhile, they can't revoke. They are not the ones who gave me guardianship. It's the parents of the girls. You were not here when I took them. It was under Jonathan administration. Jonathan administration was aware. So what are you people talking about? Now, so fights. Yawa burst. Buhari and his administration gave one Hajia $1 million. She came to America, and with Nigerian embassy officials, defense intelligence officials, they were going around sharing money for my friends and people to betray me. I'm telling you, that's what they did. It was so. Long story short, at one point, I had to appear before a defense intelligence agency. I went to meet them. The embassy called me. I said, here am I. They said, hey, where are the fake Chibok girls that I brought? I said, fake Chibok girls? So I pointed to one of the girls. I said, this is one of the girls. Talk to them. They couldn't believe it. They were in shock. Because when I arrived with her, they thought she was an American. The girl touched up and down. Perfect. She didn't look, So they just thought it was an American. I said, this is one of them. I said, interview her. They interviewed her. She gave them the names of all the 10 girls that I brought, their local government, everything. So the boss now turned to the left-hand corner and said, you said the Chibok girls were fake. What is this? Oga will say some might be fake. What? He said people should stop this nonsense. Man is doing a good job. Instead of commending him, you are condemning him. So I had already cleared all of that before Buhari gave this woman $1 million to come to America and buy them off. So that was the battle we had.
But did they try to defame you publicly?
But yes, now.
False accusations.
I'm telling you that I sued them here in this Abuja.
What were some of the accusations?
They said one of the initial accusations, as I told you, they were claiming that they were fake.
They were not the real Chibok girls.
Yeah, they were not the real Chibok girls. But we disproved that. Then they now changed it. Oh, they're not really in school. They actually went and lied. They told the parents that the girls are not in school, that they are house girls to white people. So the parents called and told me that I should hear Hankuri. I said, Hankuri me. They said, Gabanda, Governor Yapada, Amamun Sang Keriani, that I should please forgive. I said, forgive what? They said, this is what the governor told them, but that they know it's a lie. I said, can you imagine? But again, it was all part of this Christian persecution. Because what happened was that the governor had sponsored 50 girls to Sudan, to school. So when he heard that somebody sponsored 10 Christian girls
to the United
States,
US,
he was annoyed. So their plan was to sabotage it at all costs. So they literally made a plan that when the girls come to renew their visa in Nigeria, they will capture them and keep them from going to America. I'm telling you, anybody who says there's no Christian persecution in this country is either a liar, ill-informed, or unwell. There's no way that you can see the facts and say otherwise. You understand? He was hot that, can you imagine Christians in America when the Muslims he sponsored is only Sudan he could do? So their plan was to dabaru everything. Now, as God will have it, Some of the girls succumbed to the bribery. They took the money and they went, and some of them refused to succumb. Do you know that
They bribed them with money.
it wasn't even correct money? They bought iPad, iPhone. That is it. These are local girls now. iPad. That is it. That is it. Kai. So I was saying, the girls that followed Buhari and Hajia Aisha Murtala, they graduated about 5 years after the girls who refused to follow her. Can you imagine? So God just showed favor. Oh yeah, you came to America to pursue iPhone and Buhari's money. You will wander in the wilderness for 40 years. They tried. They did Miracle Center in America. By the time they went to university with the Miracle Center certificate, they drove them away. It was embarrassing. The million added another $1 million. They whacked money. How about? They whacked
Same
money.
they could not release.
Thank you. They whacked money in the name of these girls. I'm telling you, and they wouldn't graduate. They finally graduated about 2 years ago. Meanwhile, the first one graduated from university in 2018. And this one's graduated, Kai, my brother, it was. Are you
still in touch with some of them?
Yeah. Now, they've progressed, they're doing... Married, children,
things.
Wow. Yeah. And I will never forget one thing that happened. One of the parents we brought to America.
Oh, you even brought their parents to America?
Look, bros.
Why are you saying it this way? You're saying it so calmly.
See, let me give you one gist. In fact, let me dial down into this gist because you will like it. I brought one of the parents because he was a teacher, so he had taught some of the students. So he would be able to relate to them beyond just his daughter. When I picked him from the airport, we were driving in Washington, D.C., and some of the areas have trees and everything. The guy looked, he said, "Are we safe here? Are you sure there are no terrorists here?" Hey, God, I say, yeah, this poor guy, Sambisa don't spoil it, man. Anytime you see tree now, it go quick. Then the second thing that happened, the guy looked around. He saw technology, everything. He said, Kai, in this world, some people are living, others are existing. Hey, when he said it, it touched me because there are people in Nigeria who are just existing. They're not living. I'm telling you, Then the final thing he said to me that I never forget, he said, even if these girls don't get any degree, their life is already changed forever. He saw the standard of living that they had. There was a girl. She was living in a $2 million home with an American pastor. Her bedroom was bigger than my bedroom. Her school fees was $35,000 a year. My own children were attending public school. Do you know Buhari and Aisha came and took that girl from that pastor's house, carried her and put her in an apartment in Bronx, New York. You know Bronx, New York, ghetto. There's no part of Abuja that is as bad as Bronx, New York. Put 4 of them in an apartment with double bunk after collecting $1 million. That's what they put. That girl ended up converting to Islam because that's what they wanted. And she's one of those who didn't graduate on time, So these were some of the battles that we had with Buhari. Long story short, the week I was to get that award in the villa, the Sunday before that award, Buhari died. The day where I enter plane, say I did come Niger, was the day he was buried. The following week, I dey villa. Then they give me award. I say, no be this man, this house, this man occupied just 2 years ago. You don't come out. Now God work. Now God do am. So at one point he now said, let us rise for a moment of silence in honor of late Buhari. I no rise. I no rise. I said, no. So now God work. Wanna leave am. No disturb wetin God want to. So, bros.
It is well. May so rest in peace. I mean, politics is something.
May he so reap what he sowed. That is what I say. You determine your destiny.
Yeah, you see, as someone who has interviewed a lot of people, I've discovered that majority of all what we think we know is not really what it is. You know, as you grow, you discover that some of the decisions you hear that somebody takes is not directly coming from them. You know, it's influenced by a lot of things that sometimes are beyond their personal and moral standards.
I mean,
obligations.
You see, Buhari was the worst ruler of Nigeria ever. He was a failure. Not only are we saying it, his family is saying it. His wife said it.
Everybody felt it.
His children have said it. You know, I know numerous people that Buhari gave them work to do. Go and do this work. And when they did it and they came under attack, Buhari betrayed them. I'm telling you this. There was a general who Buhari asked to investigate arms fund. You know, they looted a lot of arms funds. The general investigated and showed Buhari the report. The next thing, 2 members of his committee were killed. He was almost abducted and he fled the country and went abroad. These are people who served him thinking they were going to be covered. Then look at the latest revelation from his daughter, that a forensic analyst detected that her father's signature was forged. She took the evidence to her father and said, Baba, look at what we found. People are forging your signature. He told her, my dear, don't talk about it, leave it and go. He betrayed even his own daughter. What are some of us?
Isn't that what I'm also thinking about too? I mean, sometimes this thing might just be beyond what we think, honestly. I'm just saying.
No, I don't even want to talk about him.
Of course. His track record was totally unpleasant.
Yes.
Nigerians suffered greatly because of some people were destined to have attained a very significant height in their life right now, and not there because Buhari was given a chance to rule this country. Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. Yeah. The sky is still there, it's still hurting. But in all this, sometimes I just think that leadership is way beyond what we see on the surface. You know, there's so many, plays that goes on that people don't see and people don't understand. And I don't know how well Buhari handled that leadership and all of those things. Maybe if it were someone else, they would have handled it differently. Yeah. So I survivor.
My brother. Nah, God. Nah, God.
You are a survivor, honestly.
I'm not going to yarn you any gist again because you will now take me down another memory part.
Sir, please, it's not just me. It's for everybody who is watching. So there are people who want to understand this country very well. They want to understand a lot of things. And you see, you are the one with the key now. You are the one with the key to this library of memories. Are you going to open it? It's all because what we are doing now is being documented even for the future. Yeah. 20 years to come, 50 years to come, people will still be watching this. Do you understand me? So,
yeah. Well, what I will do is I'll take you up on your offer, that, we can partner down the road and stuff. Yeah. You make a good point because, like I said, I want to start winding down. I think I've done a lot. I've suffered a lot. I just need a little downtime, you understand, to pursue my own interests. You understand? 30 years ago was when I was detained. My country has been harming me and fighting me since. The only recognition I got from my country was last year. Can you imagine working for 30 years and getting only recognition once from your country? Your country was fighting you all this while. So I actually give this administration, kudos for doing that. Because did I tell you that during the struggle for democracy, I met Tinubu. After I was released from prison, I went to London, and Tinubu and several other NADECO officials were on exile in London. We met. This story I told you about what happened in the villa, I told him. Tinubu knows me. Maybe he has forgotten or whatever. But we met. A couple of days ago, the day before yesterday, I met Governor Fayemi somewhere. People were introducing him. So I tapped him. I said, do you remember? He said, of course. I said, yeah. I met him in London. We were all in the opposition together. But they've governed. We're seeing their handiwork. It's time for me to rest small, because they were in opposition, they got into government, they did what they did. Some of us, maybe we're not in government, but maybe we should just take a break. Yeah.
Thank God for your life.
Thank God for
So
God.
with all you've experienced, what are some significant changes that you think Nigeria has made so far that maybe many years ago it wasn't this way?
No, I think by far one of the beauties of Nigeria that I have enjoyed post-military rule is your setup here. It brought about the unleashing of talents. You understand?
Before then, people were scared.
Nobody could talk. Nobody could do anything.
Was it as bad as North Korea?
Hey, it was cool.
They are not allowed to use social media. They're only allowed to watch certain networks on TV.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to watch movies and, even leave their country.
See, in Jos, some people were drinking at Plateau Club, and the guy made a comment and they picked him. That was how bad it was. You talk in church, you talk in club, anywhere.
There were security agents everywhere.
Yes.
Undercover.
There was a time I was in the taxi here in Abuja, and we were driving, and the police checkpoint now, they were demanding money. So when they left, people were arguing, why are the police collecting money now? So, somebody said their salary is not good. And I said, no, they've increased their salary. They should not be doing this. No, they don't pay. Then the man finally got annoyed. He said, listen, I am SSS. I know what I'm talking about. All over Georgia. In taxi, in taxi. So you just did not know who would betray you or when.
Yeah.
Who will betray you? So the restoration of democracy brought out talent, Two-Face, all of this creative energy that was suppressed began to come out. And when we had Obasanjo as president, somebody sang and said, under Obasanjo, Nigeria Jaga Jaga. And Obasanjo said it's his mother is Jaga Jaga. I was like, what? Under Abacha? I swear, see, when I was in prison, there was a guy who had been in prison for 1 year. He was also brought by Abacha's bodyguards to prison. You know what happened? He broke up with his girlfriend. His girlfriend told one of Abacha's boys that when Abacha's son died in plane crash, that this guy was rejoicing. They came to his workshop, carried him, put him in the boot of a car, and brought him to the prison. And abandoned him there. This guy had been there 1 year before I came. So one day, he saw one of the people who arrested him and came up to him and said, "Oga, you arrested me. Please, when am I going out?" The guy said, "Me? I arrested you when?" They had forgotten about him. I'm telling you, because of a girl's wickedness, this guy was there for 1 year.
Which means they bring a lot of people there for them to have forgotten.
Exactly. Oh my God, it was terrible.
So imagine if it was the song that they sang Nigeria Jaga Jaga, if it was Sani Abacha's regime, what would have happened?
He would never have reached the studio.
Or African China that sang food in no day, water no day.
As they're in the studio practicing, DSS will
just
collect.
come.
He would never have reached.
And there was nothing like you being there was nothing like influencer that will help to say, okay, this person has just been arrested. You stay there for 6 years, nobody will even hear about you.
That's why I keep saying that the work you're doing is vital. Because at that time, only we as human rights advocates could speak. And when you spoke, you knew you were going to be a gunner. You knew you were going to be a target. And at that time, all the human rights people were in Lagos. We were the ones who started it in Abuja. In fact, when they were torturing me, part of it, are you mad? It is people in Lagos who do this. Why will you try this here? Another one they said to me, he said, you are from the north. Why it is only Yoruba people who, your father is in government. You are enjoying. Why are you speaking? There's nothing. The interrogations were pointless because how do you answer that? They asked me, have you been to America? So this way, some of the things. So I say that to say that all the liberties you have now, even driving safely. Do you know that Abacha's boys had their trucks? They would drive around. If you drive in a way they don't like, they will stop and beat you or they will abduct you. I mean, look. Hey, bros, I swear you don't know how, Nigeria has progressed in that respect. Where we've regressed, I'm not happy, is the insecurity. Because the insecurity we have now didn't occur then.
Yeah.
Then the government was our enemy and our problem and, But this one, abduction in the heart of Abuja, a lawyer was just found dead, a female lawyer, a nurse was found dead. What kind of thing is this? Some of the children who were abducted in that Catholic school in Niger in December were reportedly re-abducted last week again. Yes, the ones that were just released the week of Christmas. So there was a missionary I know, his niece and nephew were abducted, but they were released in the first batch. So when I heard about the attack this week, I said, were they taken? He said, no, they are still in the hospital from the first attack. So some of those who were not hospitalized, who were healthy, who were released, have been re-abducted. What kind of thing is this? So this government really needs to take our security seriously. They need to declare an emergency, a state of emergency on security. Kidnapping must end. By the time you mop up all the kidnappers in this country, they will know that it is not fashionable to kidnap again. We can't continue like this. This is not sane. It's not sane. We're becoming like animals. You go free me, oh. You go free me.
I swear, you don't make me think my life for you. My mind just there, the beats, honestly. May God help us,
Amen.
Protect us,
Amen.
And keep us.
Amen. Yeah.
As I used to tell my friends and the people around me, for example, something happens, what would you do? Where will you run to? Who would you speak to? Who would even know that this has happened?
Exactly.
And that's why when I meet people like here, I said the only way we can support people is by giving you our platforms consistently. If anything is going on, always let us know.
Okay.
So we can make our own moves. We can use the media. We can make contact that so thing has happened. Do you understand?
Okay.
May God help us.
Amen.
The whole fight is not a selfish fight. It's for the betterment of the country.
Yeah.
May God really help us.
Amen.
So I've been through a lot though. In all this, I'm just wondering, like, your family, your wife particularly, when you guys started the relationship, who knows if maybe you weren't as ambitious as, you are, or as maybe you weren't so ambitious when she met you in the beginning, but somehow she's hearing today that you're adopted. She's hearing today that there's a false accusation against you, this, that. How was she able to manage all of this. Her family too, your friends, like I'm just thinking about it. I was speaking with Sowore, the ex-presidential candidate of AAC party, and when he was also narrating his story to me, telling me what he went through for Nigerians, how he was shot on his thighs, he was beaten, he hasn't been able to see his family for so many years because the government seized his passport. I felt sad. And right now in Nigeria, a lot of people are forgetting so soon that this fight was for them, not really for him.
Yeah.
This is a man who has already attained some level of success. Built Sarah Reporters. Him and his families are doing well. Listening to you flying from one country to another, it means you've already done you're a successful person. You can actually afford the life you want. But then you're deciding that you want to fight for your country. Or more, like, I'm just here thinking about everything. It's crazy. You're a brave man, oh. A brave man. I just hope that God, continue to be with you. Fill your family with love.
Amen.
Do you understand me? For all the times, all the years that was taken away, all the emotions, the memories that should have been but were missing because you were on the line for people who maybe don't even know what you were doing for them. I pray that God fills your family with this love.
Amen. Amen.
And even with this your plan to spend time for yourself, I really hope that you enjoy it so much with your wife, your kids. I really hope.
Yeah,
you deserve it.
You make a very good point because obviously my family bore the brunt and the burden of doing all of this. We've had maybe about 14 victims of terror go through our home in the US. I have about maybe 5 grandchildren through them now. Total number of Nigerians I've helped bring to the US, probably close to 30.
Wow.
And I have to say that my wife never signed up for that. You understand? It's one thing if it's your in-laws, you have to accommodate and tolerate them. But it's a total thing when you're bringing people from Zambia Forest. You understand? So she has a heart of gold. I that one, I can never argue that one anywhere. That one, she's just a saint in that respect, But you are talking about Shawari, he and I, we're all in the movement together, fighting for democracy. And, he continues to fight and continues to pay a price. It's unfortunate that Nigeria doesn't recognize its heroes. They antagonize and agonize their heroes. And they elevate and celebrate their villains. That is what Nigeria essentially is.
We've all been a victim of this, honestly. And then when they want to try to bring you down, the next thing is to lay false accusations against you, to make you irrelevant, to make you, and these things happen. He was also accused. Sorry, was accused. He also told me, he shared a lot of things. It was so sad when he was sharing everything. Like, it was very emotional. Honestly, it was. May God help everyone. Honestly, may God help everybody. This. I keep asking myself, what is the purpose of life? I'm a big advocate of the what should end, honestly. I swear, like, people think that there's something wrong with
the trumpets.
I feel like that's the solution. Like, what is the purpose of this never-ending race?
Yes.
Do you understand me? What is the purpose? The world is so difficult. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand. They don't feel the pain because of certain privileges they enjoy. And somehow they think that that's the way it is for every other person. But there are people.
You've just hit the nail on the head, because a couple of days ago, I was traveling with some politicians and ex-politicians. And they were saying, if Trump bans them from America, so what? They don't need to America. They love Nigeria. This is the best place to be. And I told him, I said, listen, the reason you're saying that is because you can get away with crimes here that you can't get away with in America. So what crime are you talking about? I've never stolen money. I said, listen, your level of comfort is not the same as everybody else. You have access, you're privileged. He was shocked because nobody would tell them this to their faces.
And most of them might not. You see, the truth is, a fish is in water would never realize that it's in water until it's out of it. So sometimes a lot of people make decisions and conclusions and sentiments and statements from their point of comfort. Do you understand me? So if you want to advise somebody, most times you're only advising them from your own state of mind, your comfort and everything.
Let me tell you something that I do, which will shock you. When I enter a taxi in Abuja, I price as low as I can get.
Sorry, sir, you don't you don't have a personal car in Abuja yet.
I will not answer that for safety reasons.
Okay.
But when I'm taking taxi, I price it down. Not because I can't afford to pay the high price, but because I'm thinking of the next person who will try to price that vehicle. He does not have the money I have. So if I come in with dollar mentality, the driver said it's 5,000. That's just $3. I can afford it. I don't do that. I have to think of the civil servant who is closing, who is on 70,000 naira per month, who is going to price that car. Because that taxi driver will leave and say, the person who he paid 5,000. Why won't you pay it? You have to think about other people's conditions and limitations. Don't impose yours on others. The people that I don't price for is, the food sellers,
the
on
petty
the highways,
traders.
the petty traders. Those ones are just trying to make help them out.
Well, may God help everyone. I've said this before. I used to say greatness is a curse. Some people think that this guy again. I mean, but to be honest, I feel that way honestly, because the moment you want to do something extraordinary, that's where your problem begins.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
If you had just gotten married, focused on building your career, I think you would have less trouble.
See, here's what is interesting. I'm the youngest law graduate in Nigeria. Okay, the youngest law graduate in Nigeria. I went to Unijos to study law at 15. So the sky was the limit. When I was in detention, I had my first Supreme Court appearance. I missed it because I was in detention. Okay? So there are many who would look at me and say, look, I was privileged, I didn't take advantage of my privilege, whatever. Well, guess what? Do you know, right now, the favor God has given me, I advise the Parliament of the United Nations, the United Kingdom on Nigeria. I advise the US Congress on Nigeria. I've petitioned the International Criminal Court on Nigeria. There's a level I am at now. I mean, when you talk about lawyers who have engaged the International Criminal Court from Nigeria, there's nobody who has engaged more than I have. So in my time, I thought that, I missed my first appearance at Supreme Court because I was in detention. At that time, I wasn't thinking of International Criminal Court. Of course, it didn't exist at the time. But the fact is that, God has a way of making up for it, for honoring the sacrifices that you make for His sake. So it's not a futile exercise. You are investing in eternity. You're investing in lives, in souls. And, you were talking about purpose. I think, someone said it very wisely, that the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you discover why. Discovering that purpose, why God put you on earth, is very important. Now you keep saying, why are we going through this? Let the world end now. Do you know that this life we're in is an exam?
Exam, so yeah.
To heaven, to eternity.
What do you think heaven will look like?
So if we don't take the exam, how do you pass? If we only come on earth, chop and die, then there's no point our being here at all.
I heard the same thing, but I like to be very curious. Like, that's how I learn and grow. I'm a great observer of life. To what end? Sometimes I just want to wonder, what kind of people will I find in heaven? If God gives me the grace and finds me worthy to be there, I really want to be curious to know what kind of people are going to be in heaven. Is it the same people I see on earth? Because I'm already thinking of all the troubles that would happen in heaven. Do you know how judgmental some people can be? There are so many issues that are not seen in the Bible, but these issues is what has caused some of the issues we are facing in this world today. Sometimes I think about how God has given the world so many things for free. Whenever I'm traveling, I'm using the airplane, I look down, I see the vast land. I tell myself, from now to 100 years, there'll still be enough land in Abuja to buy. Do you understand me? There'll still be more than enough land for us to buy. We think that Abuja is developed. Go and enter aeroplane and look down, and you see that we've never made so much progress. And then you see how the world has now become difficult because of man's greed. How lands are selling for billions of naira. When some people may go through this life and never even see 10 million. Do you understand? These are things that were given freely, but somehow man decided, I want this for myself. And all of this is what is causing suffering. So if that same mind goes to heaven, except they want to be like a total reborn, because
there's three things I want to say to you. The first one is that there is enough for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. That's the problem that we have. Okay, Nigeria used to be the Dubai of the world. I told you about in the previous episode about the Filipino man, the British. All of them were rushing here to work. What I told you is not Lagos. It was in Makurdi. In Makurdi, in Benue State. You had all these Germans, Russians, Americans, all of these people were working here. That was how good Nigeria was. Okay. The second thing I wanted to say to you is this. Somebody has said that when you get to heaven, you have three surprises. One, the first surprise is the people you see there that you didn't expect to see there. The second surprise is the people you won't see there that you expected to see there. And the third surprise is that you yourself, you made it. Okay. So, those are a couple of, reflections on this eternity of a thing. But with us really in this country, we have a problem. We are deconstructing civilization and we're destroying ourselves. The third thing I wanted to mention was Thomas Sankara was a very popular leader of Burkina Faso. And he reportedly said, we have a choice to make. The choice is champagne for some or water for all.
Everyone.
And Nigeria's political elite have picked champagne every single time.
For some.
And that's why we don't have water.
But this well.
Yeah. We need to say the doxology. We're pray and close. Because this is a tough one.
Well, yeah, it is. In all things, I still wonder what heaven will look like, honestly. Because I feel like the problems of life, there's what they call compassion fatigue. Sitting here every day, listening to people's trouble, listening to how cruel some people's lives have been. It hasn't left me the same person. And
I know what you mean. But we're not going to be in heaven with the same mentality.
I just wonder, who are the people that will find in heaven? What kind of people? Because as far as I'm concerned, well, I don't know, but God is the master planner, so He knows His perfect plan for mankind. You understand? If God wants to say, okay, the people who, I don't know how to say the bad people, maybe He'll give them earth. Then take His own people to a different place. Maybe that can work though. I'm just saying, because some people are so cruel. Yeah, from people who steal, who tell lies, who bully others. Some people who have the heart to kill, to see others in pain.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I don't see. I feel like this is too. I don't want us to now digress into something entirely. But honestly, listening to everything you've talked about, it's hard to not just think about this and not ask certain questions. Because even you, one day, your children will begin to ask you questions. Maybe you've been able to hold your family together, telling them Bible stories, and you're like the best dad. They're only listening to you alone. But with social media out there, with more expressive people out there, with people who have painfully seen life beyond what anybody in their family has seen, coming to share certain kind of stories. There are tougher questions your children will begin to bring to you as you get old. And even you too. Some of the ideas you have will never stand the test of time, because there'll be a point where you, as a great grandfather, you sit, and some of the beliefs and morals you once held, it will be as though you were wrong all your life. In all things, I pray that God gives every one of us his choicest children. But I wish everybody could be God's child anyways. I wish he gives everybody the grace for eternal life. That's my prayer.
Amen.
I wish God, the Holy Spirit comes into the heart of everyone. That's my prayer.
Yeah, I mean, some of what you said is actually biblical. There's going to be a millennium. There's going to be a rapture, and those who are left behind on earth will remain, for a period of tribulation, right? And then after that, Christ will reign for 1,000 years on the earth. So there's a mix of some of what you were saying you wish would happen before we all finally go up into glory. But, I think we're just called to do the best we can, to fulfill our purpose and then go to our reward. We get scars. I think in the former episode you were asking if I had scars. When I got to the US on exile, I was examined and I have scars on my back that I've never seen. They said they're still there. The doctor saw it. In my asylum application, they submitted an affidavit to that effect. I was reviewing my file just recently, a couple of years ago, and I said, wow, do I really want to see those scars? Do I want to ask someone to photograph and show me? I don't know if I want to, but I bear them. I carry them on my back.
Your wife never saw them?
I haven't asked her to check them out. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. But let me just close with this. When I was in detention, there was a friend who, was very interested in me, and, all of that. Long story short, after a while, she told me, she said that this is not going to work. Now, I wasn't interested. I was really focused on my human rights and everything. And she said, this is not going to work because you're too in love with Nigeria. And wow, no one had ever said that to me. And it really puts, it put things in perspective. And then I got to US, I got married in the US and all of that. And some years ago, my wife said to me, she said, there's a couple of us in this relationship and Nigeria is ahead of me. And it really shook me that my life, my social life, or was it my romantic life, had always been impacted by Nigeria. Nigeria kept happening to my life. Now, I will close with this. A few days ago, a friend sent me a picture from my young Abuja days. When I looked at it, a beautiful girl standing next to me, and I was frowning. And you know what I commented on the post? I said, you see, I was a young man. I was supposed to be enjoying my life. Nigeria's problem was already occupied. Because You're next to a beautiful girl. You should be smiling and jollying. Not lie. I was laser focused on democracy and human rights. So I think I've paid my dues. Make I chill out small.
Yes, I think
We're
you
handing
should.
over to you guys.
Yeah, while I was just listening
Yeah.
to you, I saw a part of myself in what you were saying right now.
Hmm.
I felt maybe this message wasn't even for the viewers,
Hmm.
because maybe we could have concluded just saying,
Yeah.
may this world end or God is coming, but you decided to say something else, and what you said reflects my entire life.
Wow.
Because after the show, I don't have any other life apart from this. So, and I've been thinking about it a lot. Why don't I have friends? Why don't I try to talk to people, socialize? The people who really like me, I don't give them that so much time. And,
Wow.
you're not the only one who is not smiling in the picture where someone is really excited to be with you.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't know how to control this. I say greatness is a cause, trust me. It's a problem.
Yeah.
Only God knows the right person who will come in and
Yeah.
help to really open, our eyes and everything. All right, we'll say it enough. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you, sir. It was really, really nice having this conversation with you.
Same here.
I enjoyed it so much. And by the way, you look like Gandhi so much.
Oh boy.
Somehow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You do to an extent. Although his glasses are round.
Yeah.
So you might have to
I
go
should
change
have
your.
to get- Another one
And then
I've been told I look like Gani. Gani was another human rights lawyer. He was
No.
very famous.
I don't know him.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know him.
So Gandhi and Gani. All right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
all right, guys. Thank you so much
Thank
for watching
you.
this episode
Mm.
of the Lucky Dudavid experience.
Mm.
We've said enough. If you find this valuable, please share. And if you'd like to see me again, please let me know. Indicate in the comment section.
Oh
If
my
you have
goodness.
questions you'd love to
You
ask.
do now.
Please indicate that in the comment section as well. So maybe in the next interview we'll have, hopefully if he's available, we'll be able to address them.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. I really, 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 really appreciate it.
Namaste.
May God keep you.
Amen.
May God's protection and guidance be with you.
Amen.
As you've made this decision to, because your decision to now have your own time is still in the interest of Nigeria. Because, you need that. You need that time. You need the time to, love yourself, enjoy your life, your family and everything. So well done for the good job and for how you chose to live your life. Maybe Nigeria is the way it is for certain people because of how you chose to live your life. Honestly, it could have been worse. Who knows where Jackson would have been by now if not of your consistent interest in his case and some of the other people you've gone out of your way to help. May God help and may God reward your children.
Amen.
I really
Amen.
hope that
Amen.
everything will
Thank you
fall
very
in
much.
place. All right, guys, we've
Yes.
spoken enough. This is a new setup, so if you're watching this for the first time, let me know what you think about it. The Locudo experience has a dynamic future. We're not just filming in the usual spots you've been watching. We are thinking of a whole lot of things, and hopefully we are going to be having our studio in a couple years to come by the grace of God. So from slowly we are experimenting something. Maybe another idea might just be sitting in a field on a mat having Arabian tea and discussing. We have a lot of concepts and we are slowly trying to bring these things to life. So whatever you feel was really good, please always let us know so we'll know what kind of discussions to have with which setup, and we are still bringing more. So if you have suggestions on how we can have more engaging conversations with some of our guests, please also indicate it. I love to hear from people because that's the only way we grow, right? So thank you very much. And sir, God bless you so much.
God bless you too.
Thank you. We have to say goodbye to the viewers now. So this is your camera and this is mine. Bye.
Hey.